Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on a brand new episode of The Untold. It's a show where we have amazing people, great discoveries, a great conversation, and of course, I'm your host, Abdullah Al-Hindiani.
And I'm your host, Jane Al-Athari, and today we're joined by Sarah Alkhulaifi. And Abdullah, I'm honestly really impressed when I heard everything that she's managed to accomplish from such a young age. When she was at uni, she also got married, she had a kid, she was also working. And mashallah, she didn't let that get her down. She just kept going and persevering and has become very successful in her life.
It is, mashallah, like you said, she has so many, I would say, hands in so many buckets, right? She's into acting, stage productions, she's into singing, she's into media, she's also a presenter. Mashallah, a woman of so many talents. And like you said, on top of all of that, she's into motherhood, right? She is raising her son, which is an amazing feat of its own. So honestly, it's going to be an amazing episode. I hope it's going to be a lovely conversation.
I agree. I'm really curious to see how she manages to balance so many different responsibilities, as well as having time for herself to have fun and pursue her own creative endeavors. And with that, stay tuned.
And we are back, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in, but most importantly, thank you for being our guest today.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. All thanks goes to you.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here, and yeah, looking forward to have a conversation with you guys.
We're looking forward to it too. And I heard that you started working while you were still at university and also navigating marriage and motherhood at quite a young age.
Yeah.
So looking back, how did all that stuff shape you?
It's been tough.
I can
I'm not gonna lie.
imagine.
It's been like a very tough journey at the beginning. I got married while I'm still studying at university. I remember people kept telling me, you don't have to rush things, but I like to challenge myself. For some reason, I wanted to be like my mom. I want to get married and continue my studies at the same time, and I want to see how this goes. My husband encouraged me. My mom actually encouraged me because at one point, my mom stopped university. She stopped her semester. She said, I cannot do it. I'm just going to be a stay-at-home mom and have my just high school degree and find a job. So she told me, if you want to do this, I'll be with you. Along the way, me and your father and your husband, we're going to help you so you can be better than us, like, the old times. It was hard. It was very hard. It shaped me to be a better person, a more challenging person. It made me feel like if I can do this, there is nothing else I cannot do. I had my first job while I'm at the university, while I was studying. It wasn't like a full-time job, it was a part-time job where, I just do advertisements. There was that one store, the guy tried to contact me on Instagram. It was like, I'm looking for a girl who wears a hijab and, do an advertisement for my products and everything. And I was like, okay, why not?
Yeah, try something new.
Try something. And I discovered something new. I wasn't going to do that, by the way. I just wanted to finish my university and just roll in like a government job. I wanted to be in the police department.
Oh, very different then.
Yeah, it's way different, way different. But I experienced that and I loved it. It was a lot of pressure. And then I got pregnant.
Oh, mashallah.
I had my son, and that like just doubled up the responsibility that I have. So yeah, it made me feel like I felt like more grown at a very young age, felt like more responsible in a very young age, because I think I got married, I think I was 20.
Oh, mashallah,
21.
yeah.
Yeah, and I thought to myself that I wasn't ready, but it's an experience and it was very good.
Now, mashallah, you were studying, you were working,
Yes.
you were, married, then you had a child. All of this, you were fairly young, and you also said that you had to grow up fairly fast. Can you go a little bit more on that? Like, what do you mean grow up fast? You mean when it comes to the responsibilities, or how you approach life, how you view life?
Yeah, I mean, at the age of 20 and 21 and stuff like that, for a girl, there are a lot of things that girls like to experience. We're still considered as teenagers at that age. But for me, I felt like I'm at the age of 30 at that age. At that time, I felt like I'm 30 and I'm grown very fast. There's a lot of responsibilities. I have to take care of my house. I have to take care of my son. I have to finish my studies, be a role model for my son for when he grows up. I have to do a lot of things. And it just made me feel like, am I growing too fast? Is this like too much for me? But at the same time, I loved the challenge. I loved it. It was a very hard challenge. I'm not gonna lie about that. It's not everybody can do it, unfortunately, but it's good to let the people know that challenge yourself a little bit more, experience everything like at a very young age, so that when you grow up, you have acknowledged what life is all about and what challenges in this life is all about. So for me, it made me feel like I'm growing really fast, but I love it. I actually loved it. Felt like I'm taking my mom's personality all of a sudden. I turned into my mother for quite a while, and she was like, this is totally normal. There were times where I felt like I'm going to give up. I can't. I'm just going to be a stay-at-home mom and do nothing. This is all I wanted to do. But at the same time, I'm like, no, you went through this. You have to keep going through this. You need to figure yourself. You need to figure yourself more. You need to challenge yourself. You need to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And yeah, it shaped me to be a much more responsible person, organized person. I don't know, and I felt happy after that. So yeah.
I mean, like you said, it's not something everybody could do.
Yeah.
But mashallah, I do think there is that saying that, God only gives you what you can handle.
Yeah.
So I think that for you, doing it at a young age was something that was more meant for you in a way, because you had those chances where you wanted to give up, where it might have felt too much, but there's something inside you that was like, no, keep going. I'm going to keep trying.
Yes, exactly. The
Yeah.
challenges, challenging yourself is not easy. But if there is an image in your mind about yourself that you wanna achieve at a very young age, just so you tell yourself that if I can do this, then if I grow up, I can do a lot more. I can achieve a lot more. I can have way more than what I'm doing now. It will be hard at the beginning, but it's a very good thing. Like I always tell my friends, and I always tell people, just do it. Just go on, do it. Don't hesitate. It's an experience. It's I don't know. It's fun. It's hard. It's scary, but it's good. It's like scary good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah.
It is. And what is scary good is that sometimes a lot of people, when they see, mashallah, mothers who are working so many multiple, disciplinaries, they say, oh, mashallah, she has it all figured out. She has everything. She knows what she's doing. She has it all planned out. But what we say is some of the misconceptions that a lot of people have when they look at these kind of, moms, and when they look at this kind of perfection outside of the, house. What are the misconceptions there?
People always say that if I try to do all of that at once, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. You're gonna fail. There is like a picture of a woman that you are only allowed to do one thing, which is either you have a job and take care of your children, or just be a stay-at-home mom. For me, I like to challenge those sayings. I like to go against what people say. I like to go, I don't know, I like to do the opposite. I like to show people that no, there is not just one thing that you can do. If you dream big, you can do anything. Being perfect, actually, there's no such thing as being perfect. You're gonna go through a lot, and you're gonna figure out a lot of things that you didn't know about yourself. You're gonna discover a lot. Eventually, you're gonna see what you like and what you don't like on the way when you try what you want, when you go after it. But for me, I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not trying to, be a perfectionist, or, what do you call it? Like everything. I'm not trying to have everything, but I'm still trying to figure myself out. I'm 29 now. And there are a lot of things that I still discover about myself. So there's no such thing as being perfect. You have to try. You have to go through things. You have to go through responsibilities, challenges, difficulties, whatever, until you reach what you want. Being perfect is, I don't know, it's an image that people are trying to go after that it's not there. So I always say, don't try to be perfect. Just try to discover yourself more until you figure out what you like, what you love.
I feel like that's a really amazing philosophy to have on life and on yourself. And for you to foster that at quite a young age isn't very common, I think. 'Cause I think a lot of people at that younger age, that's when they're kind of figuring themselves out more. That's when they're learning, they realize that I'm going to learn about myself now. They take time at university, or they choose a path that maybe their parents have chosen for them
Yes.
until they figure out what they want exactly.
Yeah.
But you seem to have that fire inside of you already that sort of is like, I know what I want and I'm independent and I can go for it. So where do you think that came from?
My dad. It came from my dad. My dad went through a lot. I basically know his story. I know everything. He was at the military at the beginning, and then after the military, he decided to continue his studies and be a detective. And after being a detective for years and having experience, he decided to open his office and be a lawyer and
Mashallah.
everything. Yeah, and he did that at also a very young age. My dad got married young. My mom got married young. They went through a lot together. My mom went through studying, having kids, working at the same time also. And that just made me feel like, well, why not I try that? I mean, maybe it was difficult at that time because, there was like a part of their generation where they just felt like they're stuck in the middle somewhere. There was not a lot of people that encouraged them to do whatever they want. And so I took that and I tried to go against what people say, basically. And I tried to sit with my dad. I learned a lot from my dad.
Awesome.
I learned a lot from him when it comes to responsibilities. I actually started working as a part-time job when I was maybe 15 or 16 years
wow.
old. Yeah.
That is pretty young.
Yeah, I started working as an organizer. I started
Okay.
making my own money. So, what my dad used to tell me, you don't have to, you can just be a spoiled little girl like you used to be when you were young. And and I was like, nope, I want to try doing this on my own. Okay, but if you need me, you know where I am. And I started working as an organizer in expos and plays. I remember I worked as an organizer with Abdulaziz Al in one of
Mashallah.
his plays. I learned a lot from then, and from that moment, I told myself, you know what, I want to keep going with this. I want to do more. And then I worked with a dear friend of mine, his name is Talal, singing in cafes, and started making more money because I love music. And then I started to discover myself more after singing, and then I went to university, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try acting. Because acting is like a job, to be honest. Even if you do like university plays, it's hard to practice and everything and do rehearsals, and at the same time you have to study, and you have exams and all of that. And so I tried to challenge myself in balancing all of that with the part-time job that I had outside university, and I told myself, I'm gonna keep going. This is hard, but I like it. And there's one time where I just collapsed.
Oh.
I'm like, this is way too much for me. And I tried to rest myself for like a month. And I'm like, no, this just made me feel lazy. I don't like this. I got used to working under pressure. I felt like I work better when I'm under pressure. And that's where it came from. It started from me sitting with my mom and my dad, knowing their history, knowing their whole story, the difficulties, to me shaping what I am right now, shaping myself, shaping my personality. And they helped me a lot. They did encourage me a lot. They helped me a lot. And that's all thanks to them. So, yeah.
Well, it's amazing you got the support from them and were able to learn so much about yourself from a young age. We are going to take a very quick break, and then I want to discover more about you because, mashallah, it seems like such an early journey, but a very interesting one.
Yeah, thank you.
So stay tuned for after the break.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying tuned. Now, Sarah, I do want to ask you about something because you mentioned in the first part of the interview that you got your opportunity to go into advertising. And I want to ask you about, what about that word specifically that kind of made sense to you, it kind of clicked for you. Oh, this is something I do want to try. I do want to, see my imprint on it.
At the beginning, I was very hesitant to go through that, but my husband told me, try it. You need to try new things. You need to try experience a lot of things instead of just like, keeping in your head that I want to be a lawyer or I want to, do that or I want to do this. Just go ahead and try it. You might like it. And I did. I was like, okay, he's not wrong. Why not? And at the beginning, it was very tiring because for like the first video that I had to do as an advertisement, in order for me to get like a 30-second video, it took us like an hour and a half because like there was like many transitions and hold that product and then, we had to make it disappear and, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was very hard for me, but I wanted to give it one more chance until I learned that I'm actually myself doing this. I'm not pretending to be somebody else. It's me. I'm in front of the camera. It's my personality, and people are liking it. Apparently, it just like went viral for one product for my very first try, and I'm like, huh. So I don't have to pretend to be somebody else in order for people to like it. And if they like what I am right now, then why not keep going at it? And I tried to keep going at it, and I liked it until I got my very first job after I graduated. So yeah.
I mean, it's really great that you were kind of able to find yourself in that world almost. And I think that your experiences that you mentioned before from a young age, I think it helped you kind of navigate a lot of different things in ways that most people wouldn't have been able to so quickly.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned your love of singing and acting.
Yeah.
So would you say that your experiences on the stage also helped you shape who you are or express yourself?
Yes. Especially when it comes to singing. There was a part of me where that made me feel like I want to try this. I want to see what happens. I want to see if I like it or not. But like I had my luck was very good at that time because I had the parts that I wanted for a very long time, and then I wanted to try. I got really good roles that made me discover myself more, that made me feel like, do I like acting? It made me feel like, you know what, maybe I do. It made me feel like on stage you're a different person because you're trying to act in character, but I can add more from my personality. You know what I mean? You can like twist that character a little bit. You can do a lot. And when it comes to singing, singing just makes me feel like I'm expressing myself. In some certain songs, it makes me feel like I'm talking about myself. I'm telling my story through singing. And it just shaped me more and more into making me feel like I'm a bigger person now. And I like this and I want to keep going with it. And I still do it, by the way. From time to time, I like to sing. If there was like any company that has like an acting idea of their product, but they want me to act for that role in order for me to, show the product, I will not say no. I like it, especially if it's funny, because I like comedy. I still like acting, I still like singing, and I still do it from time to time. But yeah, it made me feel like, this is me. I'm actually telling my story through acting and singing, and I like it. I love it.
You also mentioned that during university you were participating in stage plays in theater.
Yeah.
So, how did those, experiences, shape the person you are, or how you approach your presence, or how you conduct yourself?
Like I said, acting and studying at the same time was very hard. It shaped me to be more responsible of, organizing my schedule more. And at the same time, having like a main character, I remember my first play was Mamma Mia.
Oh, amazing. That's
Yeah,
so fun.
and I was Sophie. I had the role of Sophie, and it was very hard because you're the main character, and I had like a very huge responsibility because I had to study, I had to memorize my script. I had to practice singing because everything was live. The music was played live, all of the instruments, everything. So there was nothing like a playback or whatever. Everybody sang. So it was like three things at a time, three things at once. And I had to organize all of that into, okay, I have to study first. And then I memorize my role, I memorize my lines, and then I have to practice singing at the end. And I actually used to go to university with a sore throat the next day, but I loved it because this is where I learned more responsible. This is where I learned where responsibility comes from at the beginning, organizing your schedule, your time for you to fit in some other things, to be with your family, to have some time for yourself, everything, which was like a very little time, but it made me the person who I am today, which is a very responsible person who likes to organize her schedule, who likes to find time for her family, who knows what a job is and what family is and what like my part-time job is. Like it shaped me to be a more responsible and an organized person. Yeah.
Mashallah, I feel like that's a really amazing thing to achieve, because I personally am really bad at managing my time. Like I do try my best, but there are always things I add to my to-do list for the next day because I don't get them done on time,
Yeah.
amongst other things. And I feel like, especially considering that at a young age you were studying, you were married, you were also doing plays and doing things for yourself and working, like, did you ever find that it all became too much for you?
Yeah. Yes. There was one point where I remember telling my husband and my mom, I'm gonna give up. I'm just gonna continue my studies, have like this normal life, finish my studies, work anywhere that gives me an opportunity to have a job, and that's it. I'm just gonna raise my son, and that's all I'm gonna do. Um, and for some reason, when I said that, I felt like I'm a little bit depressed because I'm giving everything up, because I came a long way, and then all of a sudden I want to stop it. And it just made me feel like, why am I throwing all of this away because I felt tired? And that's when I learned, like, girl, you need a break. Just take a vacation, just take a break. It's normal for you to feel that pressure, and it's normal for you to actually collapse at one point. It's normal for you to feel down. You feel like you want to give up everything, but once you take that break and you sit between yourself and you memorize everything and all of the things that you went through that made you who you are today, is just gonna make you go back again and do what you like to do. All you need is a break. And yeah, at one point I actually took a long break, like maybe, I don't know, almost a year.
Wow, like a really long break.
Yes, and especially after I gave birth.
That's very understandable, to be fair.
Yeah, because I did not have a worker, I did not have a nanny, because I wanted to try, doing all of that without having a nanny. I don't know how. Did not have a nanny, and I had exams. It was Corona, during the Corona time, and I had exams. I had my final exams, and I had to take care of my baby. I had to take care of myself, of my health, and I had to take care of the house. I'm not saying that my husband was not helping me. It was helping me, but there are things that you need to do as as a woman, and it was very hard for me. And I remember one time I started crying like a baby, and I was like, "That's it. I give up. I give up. I'm not gonna continue doing this. All I'm gonna do is just focus on my studies, my son, my house, and that's all I'm gonna do. I give up everything." And I took like nearly a year of a break, and at that time I found solutions so I can go back to do the things that I like. So
Yeah. No, I don't blame you at all for being overwhelmed. I think even, especially having a newborn child, that alone is a very large endeavor and a lot of hard work.
Yes.
So that alone, not even including the exams and everything else that you were doing and going through, it's completely natural to have felt like it's all too much at one point.
Yes.
So did you find that you had to learn how to balance your time more?
Yes, I did. At one point, I faced more challenges when it comes to raising a son. He was late on talking. And I figured out that there are things that I need to look after, because he didn't talk very early. Like, I think he was a year and a half late on that. And I had to go through that, and then I found that he has sensory issues. He couldn't chew the food. He hated like the texture of some stuff, and I had to figure out a way to balance my schedule and to look after him and to take care of the house and to do the things that I like all at once. So I had to take it a step by step. Okay, first things first is I have to take him to a clinic. What comes after the clinic is I have to do the exercises for him at home. What the doctor tells me to do, I have to do it at home. And after that, okay, so that's done. I need to figure out the timing now. So maybe I have like, maybe, let's say I finish everything, let's say from morning until 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. That's done. And then what do I have to do the rest of the day? Okay, so that means I have the things that I like I can do. I can look after the house, and I can, organize the advertising stuff that I had going on at the beginning. So I took it just step by step, and it made me actually more and more organized and responsible now. So yeah.
Do you find yourself still having those moments of, doubt, moments of down, burnout, and everything now with all the experience that you have?
Yeah.
Or is it something you've completely know how to heal and how to remedy?
No, I still have those moments. I actually had one of those moments like a month ago.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah, and where I felt like I'm not enough, what I'm doing is not enough, and if I'm gonna just put a lot of pressure on myself, I'm just gonna give up. And I decided to take a 1 month vacation from work, and I traveled. And at that time when I traveled, I actually sat between myself one day and I was like, you went through this before, you can get over it and you can still do it again. You can do this all over again. It's okay to collapse. It's okay to feel down. It's okay for you to not feel enough. I always say this to myself. I always say, it's okay to do this. It's okay to go through that. It's okay to feel, like, I'm just tired. I'm burning out. I cannot do this anymore. It's fine, because this is what, like, for me, this is what life is all about. You have to challenge yourself in order to figure yourself, and at one point you will feel like it's not enough. You're not good at it, or maybe you don't want to do it anymore just because you felt a lot of pressure. But that's good, because it makes you get on your feet again, and it makes you more stronger, and it makes you ready to face more challenges in life. So yeah.
That was beautifully said, and it makes a lot of sense because you have to keep trying, but as a human being, you're going to have your ups and downs, and that's completely normal.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for coming here and sharing this experience with us, because I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm actually really excited to be here. And yeah, I hope a lot of people who was scared to go through all of that, and they really want somebody to push them, like give them just a little push to do whatever they like, just go ahead and do it. Don't be scared. It's gonna be fine. You're gonna feel a lot of pressure at the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, but it's gonna be fine at the end. So yeah.
I think that's great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure. And stay tuned for after the break.
And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that was all the time we've had on The Untold. But Lujain, it's been an amazing episode, right? It's been an amazing talking to Sarah. She is full of life. I would say she's so cheerful. She's so happy. She's embracing life as well.
I agree. It's been so inspirational to talk to her. The fact that she managed to do so many things, and even when she has her down moments, she doesn't give up. She just picks herself back up. She takes a break. She says that it's important that you can do it all, but you have to listen to your body. You have to know yourself, and you have to believe in yourself as well. And she has that belief and that confidence.
It is very well put, Lujain. She was amazing to talk to. She was very inspirational. I've had an amazing time during this episode. I hope the audiences have had also an amazing time. With that being said, I think that's it from us here of The Untold. Until next episode, goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.
Goodbye, and see you next time.